Hey y'all, I'm back again, and today I am coming to you guys with a book haul, but this is just part one. I have a little bit of a confession to make. Well, no, because I already told you guys about this. I think it was in my wrap-up or my TBR or one of those videos where I told y'all April, it was going to go down with the book hauls. I hadn't bought anything since the beginning of February, and that itch came, and I want to say it has passed, but for now it has subsided a little bit because I have clearly lost my mind, and hopefully a reality check from one of these, receipts can whip me back into shape, because this is unacceptable. I pray that none of my friends or family see this video, because then they're gonna be like, girl, you be lying, talking about you broke. I saw that book haul. So this book haul, part one, is going to be the books that I got from Amazon and that I got from Book Depository. I shop from Amazon all the time. That is like my holy grail. But this is actually my first time shopping from Book Depository, and I must say that I am very pleased because they are UK based and it was free shipping. And they have a wide selection of books. Like, I'm talking about, they have books in all types of editions, which is cool for me because sometimes I actually prefer the UK edition to the American ones. So yeah, and they also give you like free bookmarks. Like, look at that. And I think you can color it too. So in my order, it's two. My order, I actually got 3 of these, but the other one's currently in another book. But I'm really excited. I don't want to chitter chatter too much, but there will be a part 2. So keep an eye out for that, and let's get started. So the first book that I got is, right now, it is doing amazing things. It is soon to be made into a movie. This is a debut novel. I'm pretty sure you guys will already know and are probably sick of hearing about it, but I had to pick it up, and it crushed me to have to wait till April to pick it up since it was released in February. Talking about is The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas. I've heard that this is, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement. I'm all for that. I've been to 1 minute marches myself. And so I believe this book follows Star. She is our main character, and she witnesses I'm not sure if it was the murder or the shooting of her best friend Khalil by a white police officer. And the story follows her from there. It goes into, her dealing with the trauma of the experience, her family, and I'm assuming also dealing with the news media and the social implications that his death and shooting had. So I'm really excited to get into this. I sort of bit off a little more than I can chew this month for reading, so I'm looking forward to getting into this probably next month, but this is definitely on my top 10 books to be read within the next coming month. So I'm really excited about this. So the next books are series that I wanted to begin reading. So the first one is Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. I've seen this so many times, and I love contemporary myself. Like I said, I love me some romance. So this has been on any booktubers videos that I've seen as far as romance and contemporary recommendations. Her series dealing with this one and Lola and the Boy Next Door and all that have been highly recommended. I only got the first one just because I know that it's not an actual series. They're more like companion novels. So I wanted to read this first and then see what I thought about it before I went and binged the other 2. The next 2 books are actually a completed duology. I actually heard about these books on, I think it was Alliyah from TheHardbackHoarder. I love her channel. She, her accent, her sarcasm, and everything, the whole package just has me dying. I binge watched most of her channels when I started, coming onto BookTube. She recommended this series. It's called the Book of Ivy duology. So the first book is the Book of Ivy, and the second one is the Revolution of Ivy. I got these both from Amazon. They're relatively cheap. And I love the matte finish. All my books so far, the paperback ones at least, are matte finish, and I'm loving that. So, but basically this book follows the main character. Not sure of her name. Is it Ivy? Maybe, possibly. But there's 2, it's a dystopian, but now the world or the country is in 2 distinguished kingdoms, and one kingdom rules over the other one. So basically she's a part of this plot by her family because every so often someone from her kingdom, and from her kingdom has to marry someone from theirs, and she is arranged to marry the prince of the other kingdom. And so her parents and family put her in league to this plot to, once she's married, to go and murder Home Skillet. Need to know, dystopian, romance, and some good murders. I don't know if it's actually gonna happen, but we gonna see. The next stack of books are mostly poetry, but the first one I want to show you guys that I got and I'm really excited about is the autobiography of Malcolm X. Shame I have never read the autobiography of Malcolm X, but I have seen the movie with Denzel Washington. I loved it with all its 3 hours and some change. That's what it felt like. But I'm really excited about this book because this is the Penguin Modern Classic, and I am literally obsessed with these books. Like, I don't know what it is. It's about the floppiness, like the photographs on the front, the fonts, everything about the Penguin Modern Classics just like slays me. I read the autobiography of Assata Shakur, and he was next on my list. So really looking forward to it. One, I don't know if this is poetry or not, but I think this is actually a novel. But this is Citizen, an American Lyric by Claudia Rankine. I've seen this a lot around BookTube, and I've heard nothing but good things, so I'm really excited to jump into this. It's dealing with, the social, political changes in America, definitely heavily focused on race and that sort of dichotomy, and it also has like pictures within it. Like, it's just going through the whole climate of where we are socially and politically here in the United States. These are actually all the poetry books that I've got in this haul, I believe, or maybe these are the only ones that I've gotten or purchased from Amazon. But the first one that I'm really excited about is Salt by Naira Wahid. I think that's how you say her name. This thing was $22. Now, I promised myself I would never pay that much for a paperback book, but after seeing so many of quotes and snippets from this poetry collection, I was like, oh no, it's gonna get got regardless. It's just gonna have to be one of those splurge items. But I haven't read anything out of it yet because I want to be able to sit down and really like immerse myself in it. But I'm really excited because I have heard nothing but rave comments about it, and that's all I can say. Popular one that I've seen people read, and it's Preparing My Daughter for Rain. I think it's by Keys Bala. Yeah, Key Bala. And I think it's just sort of poetry focusing, sort of geared towards her daughter and, uplifting womanhood, I believe, and things like that. I'm not too sure. I follow a bookstagrammer, and most of these poetry books came from her bookstagram. And I've seen quotes and little snippets from the book. So I'm really excited, and I love the text, the font that's in here. It sort of looks like a old-fashioned typewriter did it, and so it's really short. And yeah, next one I got was Soft Magic by Ubile Chisala. Forgive me, I'm so sorry. I should have looked that up before I got on this thing and sort of just murdered and butchered that name. But this is Soft Magic, another poetry book I believe is dealing with, sort of like race and womanhood and feeling comfortable in your own skin and really just getting that inner inspiration, I believe. And it's just, some are short, some are long. But I'm just really eager to get into it. On Amazon, they had like where you can sort of like take a sneak peek, and I took a sneak peek and I liked what I saw, so I got it. The next two books I was so hyped to get because I had been following her for a little bit on Instagram, but she's actually a poet in my area. She lives in Washington, D.C., and she's really well known around this area. I'm not too sure how well known she is, across the nation, but around here she's really well known, and her work so far have really just now that I'm done dying because I don't know when to swallow my spit while I'm talking, poet that I'm talking about is Alexandra L, and she goes by Alex_L on Instagram if you want to check her out. But whenever I look at her Instagram page, it's nothing but inspiration. Her family, you know, the positive daily affirmations that she makes to herself, but that she posts on her, you know, page so others can see it is really inspiring. The first one being Love in My Language. I decided to go with one because, you know, I love me some romance and I love being in love, and I'm in love right now. So I figured to go ahead and get this book, and it also has some like spaces where you can sort of say what you're going to do. Like this one is, I will practice flexibility by, and then you write it down. I thought that was really cool in allowing the reader to really engage in what the discussion was about in the book. And the next book I have is Neon Soul, a collection of poetry and prose by her. And this is actually her most recent release. I think this came out a couple of weeks ago or last month. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this as well because I took a sneak peek of this, and the 2 parts they showed me were pretty much everything. And the next stack of books, these are coming all from Book Depository. Like I said, this is my first time using them, and I'd have to say A+ on everything. As you will see with these books, I'm loving Penguin right now. I pretty much got a little bit of everything from them, so I just wanted to vary it up a little bit. The first 2 are by James Baldwin. These are the Penguin Modern Classic Editions, which I love. And the first one is The Fire Next Time, which is a very popular work by him. It's very short. And the second one is Another Country, also by him. It's a little thicker novel. I think this one is his nonfiction. I think this one might be a fictional work. I think it was in February I went and saw I Am Not Your Negro in theaters, and I loved it. And I'm gonna get that book next as well. But I decided to check out one of his other more popular works, and his voice to me is just everything. The way he speaks, the way he says things was everything in that movie. And so I've never read any of his works personally, so I knew that I had to beef up on that because he might just end up being one of my favorite authors. The next 2 that I got, I know that I told you guys, I think it was in my last book, I made a comment about how any book that's blurred by Toni Morrison or Stephen King, I pretty much pick up and I end up loving. So I decided this time around that I was actually going to end up reading some of their works. So I got The Song of Solomon by Toni Morrison, and then I also got Beloved by Toni Morrison. And these are the Penguin Vintage Editions, I believe, the UK ones. And okay, I haven't heard too much about The Song of Solomon other than it's a great book and a great story. Beloved, on the other hand, this actually has a story with me. It was like 8 when I actually saw the movie with Oprah, and I'm blanking on her name, but you know, she played in Diary of a Mad Black Woman, and the other lady, she played in Crash, and you know, and they were all younger in this film. But I don't know what it was about this movie. I guess it's because I was young and didn't really understand, but it scared the shit out of me. Just the whole magical realism and the dead baby coming back, but she grown, but she's not really all that right. Something about it scared me. And just, you know, the pictures and images of how harsh slavery was and the traumatic effects it had on the generations after. I don't know. My parents weren't really like, whatever they were watching, they were down with us watching as long as they covered up our eyes for the sex scenes. So like Color Purple, Beloved, you know, Glory, things like that were real like heavy and depicting where Black people came from and what we had to struggle through. They were not shy about having us sit down and watch it. So I'm really eager to pick up this book and see the reaction that I have now as a grown person and reading the book as opposed to watching the movie, because I really haven't watched the movie since I was like 10. And the last 2 books that I have in this haul, we made it, y'all. They are the Penguin Deluxe Classics, and let me tell you, these joints are lit editions because I think they are just so colorful. They look so fun, and they're sort of like a little eerie in how they look. So I'm really excited for them. Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I've seen the movie and I loved it. Never read the book, so I decided to go ahead and pick this up. I actually started reading Wuthering Heights, and I think that one's by her sister, but I never finished it, so that book is on my shelf somewhere. But I decided to get this one in a nice pretty edition because I had seen it so many times on BookTube, and it has the deckled edges, and it's paperback, and it's got the flap, and look, there's another bookmark just falling out the cover. So yeah, that's why I got this one. And look at this, look at that face, look at that face. The last one that I got was The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I absolutely love the importance of being earnest. We had to read it in school, and I actually still have the same book sitting up on my shelf over there. My pop-up's name is Ernest, so when I read the story and I liked the dual play on the word, it sort of really intrigued me, and that's the only work by Oscar Wilde that I've ever read. So when looking at more of his works, The Picture of Dorian Gray was another popular one that people seem to really enjoy. So of course I picked it up, and this edition is gorgeous. So okay, that's the end of this long book haul. Hopefully I do some amazing editing so you guys aren't sitting here for days on end. I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace, love, and happy reading.